walk humbly with you, O Lord, our God, all our days. Amen. Please be seated. As I said at the beginning of the service, this is our healing service. It's a time we have every year where it seems perfectly fitting. We're starting out in Advent. It's a brand new year in the church. So what better time for healing? What better time to start out the new year with healing? We're putting 2018 to bed, getting ready to get a start off on 2019 with one another. What better time to close this year with healing before we go into starting a new year together? So I can't imagine a more apt time for healing service than right now. It's fortunate because, as a pastor in church, one of the things that I'm expected to do is I'm expected to develop this finely tuned sense of when something is going on in the life of the parish. So I've listened carefully, and I noticed a couple of weeks ago somebody came up to me and they said, this Christmas season is just so hard for me, and I am really in need of healing. And a few days later, somebody came up to me and they said, gosh, the holidays are such a time I'm in need of some healing. And a day after that, somebody came up to me and they said, gosh, at the end of this year, what a year I've had, I feel like I need to be healed. And then that very same day, another person came up to me and said, Father Mark, I need some healing right now. So my finely tuned sense was telling me that maybe we were in the need of some healing. Now all levity aside, this is a time of tremendous emotions for everybody. I mean, the Christmas season, with everything that's going on, it's a season of heightened emotions, both good and bad. It's a time filled with tremendous hope and love and promise, and it's such an amazing time for so many people. But it's also a time of sometimes some tremendous loneliness and sadness and hurt, especially if you've lost a loved one around this time, especially if you've lost a loved one this season right now. It can be a time that's really hard. I was just preaching at St. Andrew's Presbyterian just down the street from here this week, and we were talking on this very topic about how this is a season where all of our emotions get heightened, both the good and the bad. It all gets amplified right now. And so what a perfect time for us to gather with each other and pray for some healing, for whatever's going on in each of our lives, whatever we need right now. In a little while, we're going to gather at this rail together. We're going to kneel or stand here together for the laying on of hands. If you need some healing or anointing with oil, or maybe if you just want to be here with somebody else who needs some healing, to join in the laying on of hands, we're going to be able to come and do that with each other in just a moment. But I think before we do that, I'd be remiss if I didn't at least mention one thing about the gospel. About our very good news that's been proclaimed today. Because it's fitting for a healing service. You see, John the Baptist, they're all gathering up to John the Baptist, and John the Baptist he lets his disciples have it. He tells them something new is coming. They're so used to this idea that they could just sort of bring sacrifices to the altar and kind of just try to buy God's favor, buy God's forgiveness or love a little bit. And John the Baptist is telling them, a new time is coming. It's not going to be like that anymore. Because God is going to come and dwell with us intimately and be with us in relationship. That's going to change our world forever. Why that's great hope for us right now is because it tells me that we don't have some distant God. We don't have some distant God that we need to make some pleas to or leave some sacrifice at the altar and hope that God, in His great favor, will deign to heal us and love us and care about what's going on. No, God has already shown us how intimately He loves us. He came just as John the Baptist promised. He came and He dwelt with us. He came and He felt hurt, the way we feel hurt sometimes. He came and He felt anger, the way we feel anger sometimes. He felt betrayal, and sometimes in which you're struggling with betrayal, Jesus felt that too. And maybe most importantly of all, when we struggle with death, when we struggle with the death of a loved one, we know that God knows what that's like. Because he lost loved ones too. And God himself died as we die. It fills me with great hope and promise to know that whatever's going on inside me, whatever's going on inside each of you, God gets it. He gets it because God has been there. So when we gather here at this altar and we're praying together for healing, we're praying to a God that understands and is compassionate and will always be there. We're praying to a God that has promised us that we will never be alone. And if you're in need of some peace or solace, if you're in need of strength or hope, if you're in need of some joy or some love, God has all that for you. So let us come and pray to be blessed and healed by a God that loves us more than we could ever possibly understand. Thanks be to God. Let us come to this altar and be healed together.